Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here, with Malik, curators of the Conflict Archive. We left First Punic War last time at now. The war is agony for all. Today we pick up where we left off. By the year 260 before the Common Era, Sicily is no longer a peaceful land. It has transformed into a battlefield, scarred and blackened, where once there was life and laughter. The air is thick with the stench of death and burning homes. War has become a beast, consuming everything in its path. Both sides are suffering unimaginable losses, and the cries of the fallen echo in the silence. We see the consequences of ambition laid bare, reminding us that history often repeats itself in tragic ways.
That beast doesn't just consume armies. It devours families and communities. The constant fighting means every town is besieged, and hunger eats away at the defenders. Children are crying alongside the dying, a reality that often gets lost in tales of grand strategy. The human cost is staggering, and it's the peasants who suffer most in this relentless cycle.
But let's take a closer look at where everything changes. The war shifts at sea, where Carthage has long held the upper hand. Rome, cornered and desperate, doesn't back down. Instead, they respond with a fierce determination that surprises everyone. They begin building a fleet from scratch, pouring resources into innovation. Suddenly, their earlier losses become lessons. They adapt quickly, showing us how empires can rally in the face of adversity. It's a remarkable moment in their history.
That innovation is impressive, no doubt, but it hides a deeper desperation. Rome isn't just innovating. They're fighting for their very survival. The corvus, their secret weapon, radically changes the nature of naval warfare, but it springs from a place of vulnerability. It's not just about strategy. It's a raw response to fear and hardship. On both sides, families are affected. Lives are at stake. This struggle isn't just for power. It's about the future of their people.
The Battle of Mylae marks a crucial victory for Rome. Our ships, lumbering yet determined, catch the Carthaginians completely off guard. With the corvus in play, this naval clash becomes a brutal hand-to-hand slaughter. We see Rome shattering the long-held myth of Carthaginian invincibility at sea, which shifts the dynamics of the war dramatically. This isn't just a battle won. It's a statement. Rome is ready to dominate the waves, and we're beginning to understand what that really means.
But the victory at Mylae is just the beginning of new horrors. Carthage reacts swiftly, scrambling to adapt and rebuild their fleet. The war at sea spirals into a cycle of relentless reprisals and raids. Roman villages are engulfed in flames, and families are torn apart once more. You can almost hear their cries of anguish in the night. As the suffering deepens, every loss feels personal. It's not just a war. It's a tragedy that touches countless lives.
Carthaginian marines strike the Italian coast, and the brutality escalates. We see Rome's response is equally harsh, executing Punic sympathizers to set an example for anyone who might consider dissent. Families are left shattered, mourning lost loved ones, while fields lie barren, untouched by the hands of farmers. This conflict transcends mere military strategy. It evolves into a war of annihilation where the heart of existence is at stake. We witness the tragic consequences of unchecked ambition.
Aurelius, we can't ignore the true cost of this brutality. It's the innocent who are suffering the most. Fields lie in ruins, livestock are slaughtered, and children are left orphaned, wandering without a home. The promise of glory is now just a shadow, replaced by grief and profound loss. The land itself has turned into a graveyard, each scar a reminder of the despair that war brings. We need to remember their faces, their stories, and the lives forever changed.
The siege of Panormus reveals the depths of despair. Disease and starvation grip the city tightly, leaving the weak to perish slowly and helplessly. Letters from the front paint a grim picture of families, once united, now torn apart by suffering. The crows gather in anticipation, waiting to pick at the remnants of a community that was once vibrant and alive. It's a stark reminder of how quickly hope can fade when the weight of an empire bears down.
The war is widening in ways we could hardly imagine. Carthage is now forced to summon mercenaries from distant lands, bringing in fighters who know nothing of our people. New tactics emerge, and with them come fresh horrors, each day more brutal than the last. Meanwhile, Rome drafts more citizens, emptying the countryside of its young men. This isn't just a war for territory. It's a war of attrition, one that leaves deep scars on both sides, affecting families and communities for generations.
The Battle of Cape Ecnomus really showcases the conflict at its worst. Imagine over 600 warships locked in deadly combat, the sea choked with the wreckage of once mighty vessels. Roman discipline manages to prevail, but at a terrible cost. Families are left shattered, mourning their lost sons. They're haunted by the horrors they've witnessed, as the echoes of battle linger long after the last ship has sunk. This is the brutal reality of war, and it's a grim chapter in our history.
And even with that victory, Rome's dreams of a quick end are dashed. Storms rage, tearing apart their fleet, and tens of thousands are lost to the sea. The war drags on, becoming an endless cycle of suffering for everyone involved. Families cling to hope, waiting for news that never comes. The land, once vibrant, grows more desolate with each passing day. The heartache is palpable, and the human cost keeps piling up, leaving scars that won't easily heal.
Now, the war has consumed everything we hold dear. Sicily's once bountiful fields are littered with corpses, and the sea, once a source of life, now hides the bones of thousands. Neither Rome nor Carthage will yield an inch. The suffering runs deep, but through this agony, change stirs beneath the surface. We may be heading for a shift in power, though it might be obscured by more bloodshed and chaos before we see the light.
That's where we leave it this time. First Punic War continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Conflict Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.